How long have you been living here?
Since about last September.
Oh, so it's recent.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Do you guys all have your own room, or some people have roommates and stuff?
No, they're all individual rooms.
Yes. Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
You look like a college student down there on the floor. This is the consent form for the video taping. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. I appreciate
You're welcome.
I have a pen if you need it. Oh, well, not that one.
There's a pen up there.
Oh, right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm bad on dates. Thank heavens I always have a newspaper.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So do you always keep your room this neat?
Well, I try to. There are times it gets a little messy, but this is about as messy as I can stand it. So I try to keep it, as you call it, neat. I call it, well, at least it's in order, some kind of an order. This is all stuff I wish to read. My TV, so that's all my stuff to keep me busy. My paper, which goes over here. Naughty paper, naughty paper. And I have to have a talk to that guy.
And did your granddaughter give you that horse?
Actually, the parents gave me that horse.
Oh, your son did?
My son and his wife for Christmas. I've always asked for a horse ever since I was about 5 years old. That's the only horse I've ever gotten.
Oh, that's close.
So why horses?
Because I love them.
Yeah.
They're just so big and they're not stupid. Some of them are very intelligent. Some of them even know what you're talking about when you talk to them.
So when did you realize that? Have you ever been with a real life horse?
Oh, I've been horseback riding every time I could save up the money. I'm from Bethlehem, and in Bethlehem they always have horses if you can afford it. And I would work all week so I could earn some money to go horseback riding. That was how I usually got the money.
So when did you first go horseback riding? How old were you?
I was about 12 or 13.
And how was it?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you ride just one horse every time you went back?
You mean, did I ride the same horse?
Yeah, like did you have a favorite?
No, I didn't
No.
ride the same horse.
No. Did you go to the same place every time?
Yes.
Yeah.
They had their own horses, and you learn to know the horses. Some of them were kind of crazy, some of them were bad-tempered, some of them were good-tempered. They're just like people.
So you didn't have a favorite horse?
No, I never did, because I never let myself get that attached to any one horse. That would be stupid, because I knew I couldn't keep the horse. So why should I get attached to him? And at that time, I was too busy trying to convince my parents that I could have a dog so that I could have one. They didn't like the idea of a dog. The only dogs they ever knew were farm dogs, which weren't allowed in the house or anything. They got me a dog. It was a teeny little thing, and she was like 8 weeks old, and she fit in my father's hand like this. She could fit in the whole dog in his hand. And she was a teeny little snippy thing, so I named her Cheeky, meaning she had enough cheek to talk back to people. Nobody ever got it, though, why I called her Cheeky. But it sure fit her. I always named something, usually by a characteristic, like Tuffy. I named for his going around going, oh, he'd go, and pretend he's big and bad, but if you go, boo, he'd shrink up and get that big. And that's a little hard for a cockatiel.
So do you love all animals, or just horses, dogs,
No, I love all animals.
Are horses your favorite?
Yes, they are. Dogs come close second, because I could never afford a horse.
Was Cheeky your only pet dog, or have you had other pets since then?
She was the only dog of mine. She died when I was about 21, 22. She was a great dog. I mean, she knew what you were talking about, and she would do what she was told, and she listened. Not like some dogs that are able to, they let them run roughshod over the family, but that's the fault of the people who are supposed to be training the dog, not the dogs. So, you got to know your animal.
What kind of dog was Cheeky?
She was a breed I never heard about before or since, but it could have been like the breed could have been a name given to them by the people who were breeding the dogs. And let me see if I got it right. I got a little confused. I have MS now, and that does a number on my brain. Now the question was, what was your question again?
What kind of dog was she? If you don't remember, that's okay.
She was said to be a rat terrier. Now, rat terriers were bred for getting rid of rats around a farm. And they usually would go after the rat, grab them by the neck, and then shake them until the neck snapped.
Oh, wow.
They could be kind of violent, even though she was just this teeny little dog. She stood about this high at the shoulders. She was not a large dog. She looked like I forget breed she looked like, because that breed gets much bigger, and she acted like that breed. You would never believe she was such a little dog. And she loved people, though. I miss her sometimes very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had many dogs since her, but none can replace her because they're all different.
What other kind of dogs have you had?
I've had a French poodle. He was a black French poodle. We found him outside. His fuzz was in a mess. I mean, he just had everything and anything stuck to him. So I had to learn to groom a French poodle because I was not about to pay the prices they charged to groom these dogs. So I learned to give the dog a haircut, but now he was just a wimp. He was not a big dog by any means.
So what was his name, Wimpy?
No, tell the truth, I can't even remember because I've had so many dogs since. I can't remember what I named him. It'll probably come back to me, usually around 2 in the morning or so. I find I get all my best remembrances then. But you'll find that out too as you grow up. You get a little older, you get a little things, you start misplacing things. It's all part of getting older.
Mm-hmm. I still lose things all the time now, so.
It can be very annoying when you need the things.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever misplaced something like very important?
Oh yes, and because usually I figure, well, this is important, I should put it in a place where I'll never lose it, and then I forget where I put it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good thing.
No.
So I bought in my living room, it is a piece of furniture where the lowest drawer is as big as a file drawer. So you could file things in it, and I always filed things in. But once in a while I'd still lose something because I'd forget how I filed it or where I filed it. And then you can't find it, which is not good. So if you're going to lose things, you'd better learn to lose them in a place that's pretty good for you, so you can find it again. But it could be worse.
Mm-hmm. So you've never lost anything very, very important?
Not recently, no.
No, that's good.
I learned to follow my own advice and filed things in a file drawer.
So what kind of things do you file? Just all of your stuff? Yeah.
You will learn you will need an awful lot of things for IRS.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need it for IRS, you better darn well have it.
Mm-hmm.
They frown at people who say they need this much to come back to them because they earned it or whatever, and then can't find anything to verify that they actually did earn it. They have a habit of getting very upset about those things. So if you don't want to tangle with the IRS, you learn to do it, and properly, so you can have it for as long as necessary. And you'll be surprised, some of the things, they can come after you 25 years later, just for one little thing sometimes. That's because they're government and we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Peons never get the top hand over government. And even if you're not Spanish, you're a peon.
So what kind of activities and stuff do you guys do here? Do you have any like weekly events or monthly events?
We get a calendar, make up a calendar, and they have everything on the calendar.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to get it for you?
No, you never found it.
Okay.
Just don't laugh at me when you see how I have to get up.
Oh, no, we wouldn't laugh at you.
Well, you could, because it's funny. This is the calendar.
Oh, wow.
You see, they have finally figured it out. If we are kept busy, we don't get in as much trouble as if we are left to our own devices.
Have you been on trouble?
Oh, yes, I have been in trouble.
What'd you get in trouble for, Barbara?
Oh, little things like going for a walk and forgetting to tell somebody. They don't like that.
Yeah.
They want to know where you're going, when you're coming back, all the neat little things that... I'm sorry, I'm just one of these free-spirited types. I don't take well to that.
Oh, free-spirited, huh?
So what are your favorite activities on here? Do you do the golf league?
Oh, yes, I even
Yes?
do that, and I don't like golf at home. You get one club
Mm-hmm.
and 10 balls, and you try and hit it 6 feet into the cup.
Are you good at golf?
No,
No. Me neither.
I'm not much worse than most of the people, so I figure, well, I can't be any worse than them. What the heck, I'll do it.
Yeah. What about bingo? Do you like bingo?
No.
No.
No?
Why not?
Well, you see, when I was interested in bingo, say like probably about your age, a little older,
Mm-hmm.
it was a no-no in my church. They put down bingo, and you were advised not to have anything to do with it.
With bingo? Why not?
It was, quote, gambling.
Oh. Gotcha. So what other stuff on here do you like to do?
I participate in nearly everything.
Wow, you're a busy girl.
Yes, I like to be busy. I even like the baking club.
Yeah.
Baking club, what do you guys bake?
Well, we make something that usually we don't eat because we only take little pieces, and then you got to do something with this humongous thing you have baked. So we usually give it away. And some of the things are so good that we could charge for them if we wanted, and I'm sure we'd get quite a bit of money. We wouldn't charge too much.
That'd be a good business.
It would not be a nice business because we didn't pay anything to make it, so therefore charging people to take it would be a little shady, shall we say.
Are these greyhounds like dogs come and visit?
They're real greyhound dogs.
Wow, you must love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Have you ever had a greyhound as a pet?
No.
No?
They are dogs that cost a little too much. I've only ever gotten dogs that have been given to me or needed a home. So, greyhounds are a little too pricey.
So you would take in stray dogs too?
Oh, yeah. The last dog that I had, I really wanted to keep her, but they told me I had to come into a place like this, and I knew I couldn't take a dog, so I had to find a new home for her. And then a couple of months after I adopted her out, somebody came back to me and told me that the dog had cancer.
Oh.
Now, I know dogs can get cancer in just about every place as humans do, but I had this terrible idea. I'm sure it's just my brain playing tricks on me, but it says she's now a three-legged dog. And if you want to find home for a three-legged dog, you know you're picked a very hard dog to find a home for. That just made me feel terrible.
Why do you think she only has 3 legs?
I don't know, when I was told cancer, that's what came to me, and I found I should really take what my innards are telling me seriously, because sometimes they do know. Don't ask me how or why, but so I just have to not think about her at all.
I'm sure she's doing great now.
I hope so.
So is that your son over here? In the picture
Yes,
frame?
that's my son and his wife, Arby and Tammy. And Maya, and next to Tammy is Nathaniel, and behind Nathaniel is Tammy's son, Jacob. So we are kind of a motley crew. Pick kids up wherever we can, seems.
Was she married before?
No,
No.
she had one out of wedlock.
Oh. Is he the oldest?
Yes, he's the oldest, but he lives with his father, and we don't get to see him too often. That's why I have a picture of him.
Oh. And you said they live close to here?
Yeah, they live in Allentown.
Oh. Did they visit you a lot?
No, he doesn't visit very seldom. And his mother calls him, and I can see, you know, you can tell the way she talks whether he's going to come or not. So it's hard on parents too.
Does your son visit a lot, or your grandkids?
Oh, my son and his wife, they come to visit, and when they come, they usually bring the grandkids. Jacob has never come, but Maya and Nate come a lot.
That's fun. Do they ever do any of these activities with you?
No.
No.
They usually only come on Sundays, and we very seldom do activities. They usually have a movie or something, and we put a movie in the whatever you call it, the machine that plays movies. I forget the names of these things.
Do you have any other pets here besides the birds?
And they aren't even my pets. Birds are birds out there. They are in the public area instead of a private area. We aren't allowed to have pets here. So I've got my horse, and that's my only pet here. My bird is home with Maya. They'd say he's doing very well, which means he hollers a lot. Never says anything, but he hollers. He's just a funny bird.
Did Maya get you that?
No, I found that here. It was at Christmas time, and they didn't have any idea where they were going to put her. So I decided, okay, if they don't know, I know. So I took, I come from Bethlehem. I've lived in Bethlehem all my life, and every place I've ever lived, you've got the public lights outside that are sometimes bright enough you can almost read a book out by the light inside. And here, there is absolutely no light from anywhere. You turn the lights off and it's really off. So I have the angel lit all the time, and she gives me enough light that I can make it to the bathroom without killing myself if I gotta go during the middle of the night or anything like that.
Yeah, because these usually go on top of the tree.
Yes, but not her. She's got a cord, and she'd be a kind of messy tree topper. And I never put an angel on the top of my Christmas tree. I always put a star to represent the Star of Bethlehem.
Do you guys get a tree here every year that you all decorate?
Yes, but it's not the same as having your own tree, because I've had decorations ever since I was little, and I knew who they came from, where I got them, stuff like that.
You could probably get a little tree in here.
Oh, I probably could. But I really didn't try, so maybe I'll feel more like it this coming Christmas. You never know.
Maybe. You have a lot of newspapers in here. Do you like to read the newspaper?
I read the newspaper, preferably 2 a day.
Wow.
Well, this one I used to get at home, the Express Times. Now, I don't know if you knew anything about the Eastern Express, but that was called just the Express. Well, in Bethlehem, we had our own newspaper, the Bethlehem Globe Times. Well, when the Globe Times went underwater, they decided they would sell it to the Express, and then it would be called the Express Times. 2 papers put together. So that's why I read 2, because the Express Times is a lot like the old Globe Times. And I just like reading newspaper.
Do you do any puzzles or anything, or you just like to read the stories?
I do puzzles. In fact, I'm about the only one who does the big puzzles. I don't know who gets them, but somebody buys big puzzles, and they just show up. And if I have some time, I think, okay, nobody else is doing it, so I will. So I dump it out. usually get them all put together. In fact, I put 3 of them together, and then another one appeared, so I took that out of the box and started putting that together. Okay, now I'm doing 2 things at once. What else? What am I talking about?
Your puzzles.
Puzzles is right.
And how you were making 3 of them, and then you took a 4th one out. Did you do that one too?
Yes, but that one I did not get to finish by myself. I mean, I'd finished the whole outside. You know, you got to start somewhere, so I always start with the outside. I finished that, and then parts of the inside I got done, but there were still holes. Well, I went out one day, and I hadn't touched it, and it's all put together. Every piece. And I'm there, oh no, I didn't get to finish it. You know, I'm just like a little kid. I feel like going away and stomping and having a fit. So they took that one and the 3 I had put together previously, and supposedly they are spraying them with something that will allow them to pick the puzzle up, except I have poked at the puzzle and it does not allow picking up. I think they're going to be a little shocked when they try. The pieces just crack. I think they need to spray some more or something. Because if they think it's going to stay together when they pick it up to move it, they're going to have a big surprise.
Do you have lots of friends here?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty popular?
Am I pretty popular? Not really. It's just, in the early 60s, I am the youngest resident here. So it's like I'm the pet who is treated nicely. So, if that's what I'm out to be, I be the best pet I can, I suppose. Somebody's got to be the pet.
Do you have any best friends here?
Oh, yeah. I have some very good friends. Unfortunately, they happen to be 2 sisters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had a lot of trouble earlier in their lives. They did not even know they were sisters.
Wow.
Evidently, the parents that each one knew decided to keep it quiet, that there were more of the family running around. So they didn't meet the other until they were in their about 40s, I believe.
Wow.
And now that they have each other and know each other, they are sticking as close as they can get, you know. So that's good for them, but it kind of makes anyone else, even someone pretty close, feel like a third wheel. So, what are you going to do?
Have you ever seen the movie The Parent Trap?
The Parent Trap. I saw that when I was in high school.
Really?
The original Parent Trap. there have been several remakes of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have seen The Parent Trap, but it was 30 years ago. No, 35.
Yeah, it's a similar story to your friends. They were sisters, and they didn't know till they went to summer camp.
Okay.
But they were younger than 40.
Yes, they were. A lot younger.
Mm-hmm. Would you like this back?
Oh yeah, I forget easy. That's one problem you can put down to old age. I can read and understand what I'm reading, but 10 minutes later, ask me what I read and forget it. I just can't remember.
Do you want to sit in this chair?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I couldn't ask someone visiting me to sit on the floor like I do.
Why? I don't mind sitting on the floor. I can sit on this.
Really? You would want to try that?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to sit here?
Oh, that is my favorite.
Oh, yay. We should have had you sitting there the whole time.
No, that's okay. Now you're sitting in a chair that came from my grandparents.
Yeah? This is a comfy chair.
Oh, well, what it needed when my father got it, because my father got it first, it needed to be completely reupholstered. So my father reupholstered it. And he'd never reupholstered anything before. So I think he did a pretty good job.
He did.
The only thing is, it had a little footstool which would slide out from the bottom, but the metal part that would allow it to be opened and closed broke. The guy who repairs things here at the home, he's looking around for different things to see if he can find anything, but no luck so far. So if and when he ever finds a piece or whatever to fix it, it's still there. It just falls apart when you take it out from the chair, but it's still there.
Huh. I'm sure they'll be able to fix it, as long as it's still under there.
Not really, because the piece is very unusual. It comes up from the bottom and fastens into the foot piece, and I've never seen anything like it. And if it was my grandfather's, that could be from the late 1800s, 1890s or so. And when you're talking things that old, there you usually don't find parts.
Did they live in Bethlehem also?
Oh yes, they lived in Bethlehem, but in the outer reaches of Bethlehem. In fact, at one time it was not part of Bethlehem, it was part of the township, Bethlehem Township.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere back in the early times of Bethlehem, Bethlehem, quote, absorbed Bethlehem Township and became part of Bethlehem. So then anybody living in Bethlehem Township suddenly lived in Bethlehem. And yes, they lived in Bethlehem all their lives. But my grandparents were farmers, so they had to have a lot of room for the farm. and that took up a number of acres. And I mean, the house where they lived is still there, but the first house, which was built to the side of the house, I mean, not that close either. It was to its side and down a lane a short distance, is still there. Yes.
Hey, Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking. Do you know who your professor is?
I don't know, sorry.
That's okay.
What we were talking about.
Your grandparents' house?
Oh, yes. My grandparents' house, someone bought that after I guess I have to tell you the story of the family so you understand it all. Because that was my grandfather's building. My grandfather built this little house, but when he became a better-to-do farmer and he had some more money, you know, he made arrangements to have a house built the way he wanted it. So this house was built a little ways away from his house, but up further on the top of the hill, so they could see everything in the area for years. For years they were the highest home in the area. So he could see everything, and he knew all the people from his era. He knew every house, who lived in it, and what their names were, what they did. He was just a talkative little old fella. His name was Willis. But he was a nice grandfather. I guess that was God's way to make up for the fact that the other grandparents on my father's side were not very nice people, and I never knew them at all.
You never met them?
Nope.
What did they do that was not nice?
I guess the way they acted. They just weren't people like I could talk to and that kind of stuff. I miss not knowing them. Now okay, this was the father. See, I get confused when I'm talking about older generations. The father to my I'm sorry, I got so confused I have no idea what I was talking about.
That's okay.
It is the end of the day and I'm getting tired. I get really tired. MS does that, if you know anybody with MS.
No, I don't, but...
You told us a lot, though. You have a good memory. If you can remember...
I do have a rather good memory, but it does not always cooperate. I'll have to figure that out because I know there was a point in there and I will probably remember it middle of the night tonight. Usually does. Wakes me up out of a sound sleep. But that's the tricks my memory plays on me.
Do you have one memory that you just know it and you just can't, you think you won't ever forget about it?
Well, it was something I was raised up with all my life. I mean, people told me about the previous generations and stuff like that, so I heard it all my life, so it was almost as good as if I knew them, even though I knew that my grandmother died before I was born, and the grandfather died not too long after that. I guess I was about 5 or 6. So, but even at that, was still better than most kids. Most people don't even know their grandparents. Do you know yours?
Yes, I do.
Both sets?
Yeah, I have a great-grandma, actually. She's
Real good.
102.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she'll be 103 in January.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I have a lot of grandparents.
Is she in good health?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has.
I hope she continues in good health.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you.
Do you know your grandparents?
Not all of them. I know I have a grandmother. I don't know my great-grandfathers or like great-grandmothers from both sides. Just like I know my grandma and my grandfather from my mom's side. And then from my dad's side, my grandmother passed away. And my grandfather, so.
Well, enjoy them as long as you have them because you never know when God decides to take them all. It goes quick. But that's the same way with your pets. You got to enjoy them day by day because you never know how long you have them. And nowadays, they come down with cancer just as fast as the people do. So enjoy your pets while you have them.
Do you have any other stories you wanted to tell us? Like your most favorite story or memory or anything?
I don't have that many stories. It's just remembrances. And memory. Well, I knew my grandparents very well. Of course, only the one set. I only knew one half of all my grandparents. But they were very nice people. And my grandma, I remember she said the same thing every time. When something didn't go her way, it was, "Ah, Shaw." And Shaw was spelled P-S-H-A-W.
Why did she say that?
That was just her way of saying, where nowadays, especially the kids would say, "Oh, damn, whatever." My grandma always said, "Ah, Shaw."
Do you say that ever?
No,
No.
it never took with me. But it wasn't my word, shall we say. I'm sure you have your own sayings.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandkids will probably kid you about your sayings too.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
And grandkids just know how to turn a knife so that you squirm a little bit.
Is that a sewing kit you have under there?
Oh, yeah.
Do you do a lot of sewing?
No, but if I lose a button or something, you gotta have something to repair this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see throwing things out when you lose a button or some simple thing like that. So I have my sewing kit here, everything I need. Numerous things that I have sewing threads from, different colors.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of my upbringing. We are Pennsylvania Dutch.